Thank you so much, Ndungu Nyoro, for having us here today, and thank you for the great work that you're doing. We honor everyone that is giving towards this initiative and ensuring that the children who are going to be our leaders are receiving the education they need to receive. So this morning, I want to open up this session by first throwing a few questions in your direction, and then I will proceed with what I want to say. I want you to ask the person sitting next to you, what are the careers of the future? Ask them, what are the careers of the future? What are they telling you? Ask them, what are the careers of the future? Because we are preparing you for the future, but we need to know, where are we heading to? You know, a person who doesn't know will not even know if they got lost, right? So at least we need to have an idea as to where we are going to. So what did your neighbor tell you? I'm seeing neighbors running away because they don't want to answer. Yes, what did your neighbor tell you? Digital careers. Someone else, what did your neighbor tell you? Parents, what did your neighbor tell you? Your neighbor smiled. Parents, what do you think are the careers of the future? Because in one way or another, we guide our children to where they should look at or consider. So what, a parent, please volunteer. What are the careers of the future? No parent wants to volunteer. Yes, please. Technical oriented, thank you very much. At this side, we don't want to pass you by. Somebody from this side. You can't be backbenchers. What are the careers of the future? You want to save your side?
I think they are technological oriented.
Technological oriented. So digital technology, that is where our world is headed. And what I would like us to begin to appreciate is the fact that technology has disrupted our lives. Technology has changed the way we think and the way we do things. And so for our students, when you are in school right now, you need to take maximum advantage of the teachers that you have and every resource that they're giving you at school. Why? Because you have to be successful right now, because the world that you are going to, none of us here can tell you what it's going to be like. But I can try to shed some light on it. I can tell you one thing, is that we know many of the jobs that we know today and that we have today are not going to be there in the next 10 years. Your ability to be a critical thinker is not going to be necessary in the next 10 years. And that's why I choose to ask you to think about the careers that you want to pursue and conduct research on them. Just don't wake up today and say you want to be a journalist. And no offense to the person who is taking this video footage, but I want you to think about CNN. They created an opportunity for people to report, and it's called CNN I Report. That's like 5 years ago. So for you to stand up and tell us you want to be a journalist, I think you will be a bit misplaced. You will be signing up for a career that we are not going to have, or that is not going to be relevant in the next 5 years. Or maybe you want to tell us you're going to be in agroforestry because you love trees and you want to plant trees. I can tell you that that has been taken 2 years ago by drones. So drones today are planting trees at a speed that you cannot plant trees. So they are able to plant millions of trees within 72 hours. How many trees can you plant in a day? What are the things that you have that machines don't have, and begin to build on those things? So you could be a leader. Machines can never be leaders. Can you be a leader? Can you build that skill? Public speaking, machines will not speak to us, although they are being created to speak. When you tell me you want to be a driver in the next 10 years, you're absolutely misplaced. In 2012, Stanford University professors and students created the first car called Shelly that does not need a driver. That car can drive itself. It is automatic. You just put the address of where you want to go. So you want to come to Kikuyu, you just put the address and it takes you there. The only reason they haven't released it in the market is because they are not very sure, 100% sure, that if something happened, it can make a decision within a split of a second, which human beings can make. So I am here to challenge you to begin to ask yourself, where am I going to? And you can only start preparing yourself to where you're going to by first being successful in what you are doing right now. Okay? So I'm going to talk to you about study opportunities internationally. There are many other universities that you can look at. Other than the universities I have gone to, I went to Kikuyu campus, Nairobi University, so this is kind of home for me. But there are over 3,700 universities for you to consider in the US. And mostly because your world is going to be geared towards STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, I would challenge you to start thinking about it. Right now, we have 3,322 Kenyan students who are actively studying in the US right now, all the way from first year to fourth year. And those are not many students, but we will challenge you to start going to these institutions. Johns Hopkins spends 1.3 billion shillings a year. Not shillings, 1.3 billion US dollars a year on research. How much money is that? Si watupatie tu kwanza, we fund a few things that we have, right? But they spend that on research. What does that mean for you? It means that as an undergraduate student, you can be given money to conduct research. One of my students who went to the US just wanted to find out how many different ways can you use to cook ugali. And they gave him $2,500, which is $250,000. He came and chose 5 different groups from different communities, gave each group $50,000. Can you cook ugali and let us see whether it is different? I wouldn't waste good money like that. But he found out that you can cook ugali in very different ways, and those 5 ugalis were totally different. You need to start asking yourself, what am I passionate about? What do I want to find out? What is it that I need somebody to give me money to conduct research on? So begin to ask yourself, again, what are my research interests? What do I want to do? What do I want to create? Our next world requires innovators. It doesn't require consumers. Our education system most of the time doesn't require us to create. But you are going to be required to create, whether you want to create something or you don't. That is what your world is going to require you to do. So again, to start looking at the things that you can create. When you see a problem in your school, in your society, in your home, do not start asking yourself, what can I buy to fix this situation? Ask yourself, what can I create to fix this situation? The person who created the power bank was just trying to address a problem of one of their professors who had bought a phone that couldn't keep charge, and they came up with a power bank. Most of us would return it or buy another one, or buy 10 chargers so that you can charge it anywhere. But we need to begin to become innovators. We need to begin to create solutions of the problems and the challenges that we have. One thing that I want to talk about today is your opportunities that are available to you right now. You have an opportunity to interact with your teachers, and that is a great opportunity towards where you want to go to. If you're going to study internationally, whichever country you go to, and more specifically in the United States, you will need a letter of recommendation from your teachers. So it is very important that you begin to create a relationship, an academic relationship with your teachers, so that when you're through with your schooling, they can write you a good letter of recommendation. Number 2, many of us don't care about living certificates. Many of us have never even read them. But anytime somebody writes on your living certificate, could have done better, many people will not want to associate with you. Why? It means that somebody gave you 4 years to try do something, and in 4 years you couldn't accomplish it, and the only thing that you came out with is that you can do better. That means that 4 years are not enough for you to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Your undergraduate degree is also going to be 4 years, so they are not going to bank on you. Another opportunity you have is to make sure that you are not considered an average student. John C. Maxwell has written a book called The Enemy Called Average. If they write on your living certificate average, then what does that mean for you? It means that no one wants to deal with average people, because average students are going to give you average grades. They're going to give you an average GPA. They're going to give you an average career. So you do not want people who are going to pursue average things in life. You want people who are going to excel. The other opportunity that you have in school is that you are taking exams either during cards or during the end of the term. Somebody at the end of your Form 4 is going to ask you to give them all your report forms from Form 1 to Form 4. So you have an opportunity to begin to change your grades and rewrite what your grades are. If you are in the C's, you need to bump them up to a B, from a B to a B+, from a B+ to an A. Then when you arrive at an A, A-, please keep them there. Do not allow your grades to drop, because somebody will be looking and they are going to draw a graph using your grades and try to figure out, are you a student who went up? Are you a student who kept on going up and going down? What kind of student are you? So you have an opportunity to create good report forms. I know that we mind our KCSE a lot, but the US university system is not interested in your KCSE, because the KCSE is just 1 month. So they look at your high school as a whole story from Form 1 through to Form 4. So again, you have an opportunity to work on your transcripts or what we call report forms. The other opportunity that you have in school is that you have an opportunity for leadership. U.S. universities are looking for people who can be potential and future leaders. And they want to pick you and give you resources and opportunities and capabilities and empower you to be a future leader. So it is time for you to start participating in leadership, whether it is electoral leadership positions where you nominate each other to be maybe a class president or a class governor, or I don't know what term you use for it. Or sometimes it could just be your club and your society. Be in a leadership position. If you can't be in a leadership position, at least be an assistant to someone. Do something that is going to show that you're a leader. The other opportunity that you have when you're still in school is to give to someone else through community service. There will be somebody that you can always give something. No one is empty. You have something to give someone. So even if you don't have money, you can always bring together children in your community and teach them math. I mean, everyone can teach kids how to write, right? You can teach them 1 + 1. You can teach them basic mathematics. So don't say, oh, I don't have something to give. You have something to give. You can teach them how to write compositions. So begin to build your community service as early as now. Anytime you're home during vacation, look for kids, teach them how to do something. One of the kids who went to an Ivy League university picked kids who are from very financially disadvantaged families, and then he would bring them every day on a Saturday to teach them how to swim. It could be anything. What are you interested in? Another student created a football club and taught children how to play football. Another group, I think 3 years ago, that's now in the US, they would go to a shop called Planet Yogurt. They would pick all the spoons that Planet Yogurt has disposed. They will wash them, sanitize them, repackage them, and give them to schools where students do not have water to wash their hands before they eat. What is it going to be your community service? Look at something that you want to do. Having spoken about the opportunities that you have in school, I'm going to talk to you about discipline. I've had some of your mottos have something to do with discipline. Now, discipline that is outward is okay because in one way or another, you are forced to be disciplined. But there is a discipline that cannot be seen, and I call it intrinsic discipline. It is discipline that no one is going to see. When you hold a book, you're the only person who knows whether you're reading or you're daydreaming. When we see you holding a book, we're like, oh, that class is amazing, everyone is reading. But you could be in class, you're just looking at that book, but you're thinking about home, you're thinking about your parents. That's not going to be useful. You could be in class, very nice and early, the teacher is teaching, but you're not even listening to what the teacher is saying. Your ability to have internal discipline is going to take you further than anyone else in life will take you. Then your attitude determines your altitude. Your attitude towards your teachers, your attitude towards your subjects, and your attitude towards yourself is going to take you further than, again, anyone else can take you.